lot of this stuff, y'all, it's about what serves you at the highest level. It really is about what's your expectation, because what's good for you, well, for one, won't be good for another.
So earlier this week, you had mentioned about finding, you were talking about cash flow properties, and you're saying make sure you find a good cash flow property. And I was wondering, like, oh, what are the indicators of that? Like, what stands out when you're looking for those type of properties?
Yeah, it's the same thing. And honestly, right, there's some investors that had a 1% rule. So if they, if it's a $200,000 property, they want to make $200 a month net. I don't touch nothing. I make $200 a month. You know what I'm saying? But that's somebody's appetite, and that's more of you will hear that. I'm sure Ardell know that rule too. Like the 1% rule. You know what I mean? It's a commonly thrown around term in our industry, but ain't nothing common to me about making $200 a month. You know what I mean? So I look at deals where we make, 20, 30, 50, sometimes 100% return on our investment in a year on cash flow properties, right? Those deals don't exist everywhere. They exist in my market and specifically in markets within my market. But it's all about, like I just explained them, is right. A lot of this stuff, y'all, it's about what serves you at the highest level. It really is about what's your expectation, because what's good for you, well, for one, won't be good for another, and the main thing is, if I could give you any advice about cash flow, is making sure that whatever your debt service may be on that property, that you are not too close to going negative. Okay, so if you go and acquire a property, your mortgage is $1,000 a month, where do you feel safe with, based on the tenant, based on the rent in that area, is $500 a month the number? Is $800 a month the number? You have to figure that out based on the market that you in. Okay, it's a lot of we got a whole course just on all the nuance that goes into acquiring a cash flow property, because it's not one size fit all. As I mentioned, there's certain markets like Vegas, Cali, New York, where people literally buy negative cash flow properties just for the purposes of holding them for equity. Okay. There's other markets where you can make 20, 30, 50%, 100% return. There's other ones that will only allow you to make 8%. But based on people's appetite for wanting to own something in a specific area, they're okay with 8% because I own a property in West Palm Beach, Florida. So that sounds cool. They get more caught up in the idea of what they're doing as opposed to the way it serves them. Okay. And so I would just tell you to not play too close to the edge when it comes down to cash flow. That's my overall sentiment to everybody. Don't play too close to the edge to where if your taxes went up, if your insurance were to go up, and then all of a sudden you in a negative cash flow situation.
Okay, so I get that. I don't think I'm asking my question right, because I get like the margins. Obviously, you need to have a bigger margin. So if things go bad, you still have that like you said, meat on the bone.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, like, let's say you're looking for cash flow properties. How do you say to yourself, oh, that's how I know it's gonna bring me good margins, or it's gonna, like, I guess.
I got you.
Yeah.
So you need to find out what are the rents in your area. You got to pull comps. Everything starts with pulling comps. So just like you would establish a value with an ARV, you would need to go find rent comps, right? They're called rent schedules. So you can have your real estate agent pull rent schedules for you, which are verified rents from the MLS. Or you can go to Rent-O-Meter, for instance, right? You go to Rent-O-Meter and you can do a subscription and find out what the local rents are there as well. Good.
With regard to the tax structure, and I've been operating out of an LLC. I just downloaded the paperwork to switch that LLC with the S Corp election yesterday. But I've been operating and I've been filing as a tax professional, meaning I need to operate in the real estate professional. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Operate or move within real estate at least 50% of the time. That's one of the requirements. My issue is, or my question is, do you keep track of your hours that you're operating in real estate? Because if I get audited, that may be an issue because I haven't been tracking.
Yeah, so the answer is no. Secondly, do you have a tax practitioner or a CPA doing your taxes right now?
A practitioner, I'm switching over to a CPA.
Okay, once you switch over to a CPA, you ain't got to worry about that no more. You go ahead and go real estate more than 50%, and then talk to your CPA. Once you do that, you shouldn't have to keep track of your hours or nothing like that. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
The question, and so I finished the trainings today.
Okay.
And in the training about submitting your documents or submitting an offer,
Mhm.
you refer to business, you refer to an operating agreement.
Mhm.
What do you mean when you refer to, or what are you referring to when you talk about the operating agreement?
Yeah. So when you go and get your LLC set up, you're gonna get articles of incorporation, and then you're gonna get your EIN, right? And then a certificate of good standing if you request that. So along with that, you put together an operating agreement with that. Okay. Now you just came into the program. We actually have an operating agreement inside the student portal, so you'll be able to use that one. Okay. But with the operating agreement, this is where business, like, oh my God, life is so sweet. So you can take that operating agreement and with it define who and how you do your business. So what do I mean? So let's just say you're in a situation where you're trying to go to a specific lender, and the lender has certain requirements that they only lend to people that got X amount of deals done, as that happens a lot, which is why we have preferred lenders in the network for you guys to use, so you could get around that problem. But you could essentially have somebody with the experience come onto your operating agreement and lend you that experience. Although they're not necessarily a part of your business, but they become a part of your business for that transaction. It's so many ways that you can maneuver with an operating agreement, Keith. It ain't even funny, bro. I'm gonna show y'all some stuff. I know we got our call coming up. So, but yeah, the operating agreement just tells the title company and everybody else who has interest in your business. Okay. And so typically they want to see either an operating agreement or a resolution. I like an operating agreement to give you more flexibility. The resolution is a little more rigid. So that's why we use the operating agreement. And again, if you don't see it inside the portal, you can email the office, but it should be in the form section. And then you can take it, and it's got highlighted areas on it where you can change out your information and use it for your business.